Missed an episode of your favorite podcast? Choose from over a decade of content in our archives, not just the latest episode. All free at GCNlive.com.
This is your call to action. Get prepared, America. Economy, survival, energy, disasters. This is USAPrepares.com. Informative radio, educational radio. Interact now by emailing instructor@USAPrepares.com or text at 434-390-7953. Class, please take your seats. Now, your instructor, Vincent Finelli.
Everyone all set? Cocked? Locked? Here we go. Your dial set correctly to usaprepares.com. And we're delighted you're here. We broadcast 2 hours daily, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. through 11 a.m. Central Time, right here on GCN. We're carried on other networks, AM, FM, satellite, YouTube, and a telephone listen line, podcasts. And there's a link to all of your instructors on the website, usaprepares.com. If you'd like to call us, we'll pay for the call, 866-582-9933, 866-582-9933. Ron Gibson, the Ron Gibson channel on YouTube, posts this broadcast every day. And thank you so much, Ron Gibson. Does a wonderful job. I had a chance to have a meal with him on the East Coast. It was great to meet him. He's been doing this for years, posting us every day, tirelessly. Thank you so much, Ron Gibson. Justin's engineering the broadcast in Minnesota. Thank you, Justin. Captain John Regan's with us. Welcome, Captain John Regan.
Well, happy 4th anniversary.
Today's the day? You and me?
Today's the day. 4 years ago today was my first time on USA Prepares talking about the financial state of the Union.
4 years. 4 years. And so you've been wiping smiles off people's faces on the radio and at the expo and at the meetups for 4 years with me.
Everybody needs a hobby.
Time flies. Jeez. Well, John, it's happy anniversary, John. It's delightful being with you.
It's also a special day, and the reason it's so easy for me to remember is February 22nd is my mother's birthday. Mm-hmm. And if she were still with us, she'd be 95 today. And she died just over 25 years ago, and in a few weeks will be the 25th anniversary of me meeting Becky. So a lot of big anniversary type dates coming up here. And my mother was named Georgia because she was born on George Washington's birthday. Not that any kid in school nowadays would know things like that. When we went to school, we at least knew when Washington and Lincoln's birthdays were.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's a really interesting point. We really did. Now it's, President's Day? Used to be George Washington's birthday, Abraham Lincoln's birthday. And now it's President's Day. John, I was traveling yesterday through the back roads of Missouri and Kansas. Did about 400 miles in the truck. And I noticed something very disturbing. Main Street. You can tell the building's age by the architecture and the construction material. So I was looking at these main streets as I traveled through these highways and byways. Towns of, let's say, 1,000 people or so. Small towns. Small town America. You can call it Mayberry if you want. Like Mayberry RFD. Well, the buildings are falling down in the middle of Main Street. They're vacant. They're empty. They're closed. I saw very, very little traffic. Very, very few vehicles in front of me. Very few. At one time, there were 3 vehicles in front of me on this 200-mile trip. 3 vehicles. That was the most. Looks like people are, it was Sunday, but, still people I would expect would be out. Main streets were vacant. Buildings were boarded up. Roofs had collapsed. Maintenance was neglected. Small town America's drying up, John. That's the point. I've seen it in Arkansas, Illinois, Indiana, West Virginia, Kansas, and Missouri. Firsthand, within the last 6 months. I've seen it in all those places. It's pretty unsettling. Now, if you live in a big city, like, Springfield, Missouri, or one of the cities in Texas, you probably don't see it as I saw it yesterday. It's one of those signs. It's one of those signs that tells you things are not well in America. They are absolutely not well. And people don't have when you look at them, the farmers, when you look at them, their posture tells you they're worn out. They're hunched over. They don't stand erect as they used to. Part of it's because we're getting older, but I think part of it is the outlook is just not there. It doesn't look positive. I don't see much happening that I'm really pleased about. Tonight I'm going to the meetup at Jimmy's Egg in Springfield, and we have a special meetup. I'm going to say a few things that are probably going to be some quite unsettling. Time is short, in my opinion, and my attitude will probably indicate that. And the Beninati family will be with me, and we're going to be talking about what it's like to have 911 called on you. You're going to hear it firsthand if you come to the meetup tonight at Jimmy's Egg, 4:45 to 8 p.m., Springfield, Missouri, on Battlefield Road. And it's free. If you'd like to have dinner with us, we invite you to do that. The restaurant closes. Jimmy's Egg is a breakfast and lunch restaurant. They close at around 2 o'clock, Monday through Friday. And on Mondays, they open up just for us at 4:45. So it's kind of a private get-together, but we invite those who think like us. If you are a government spy and you plan on being there tonight, I guarantee you will be very uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable. And if you're a government spy and you attend tonight, I have a feeling that you will want to leave very, very quickly. And you'll get a chance to see that if any show up. Captain John Regan, what's on the agenda for today's class? I'm at the financialstateoftheunion.com news tab.
Well, let's go down to the bottom and start off a little bit on the lighter side in government smarts.
Okay.
The first article there, it's an article about how Jeb Bush forgot to renew its website, and it redirected to Donald Trump. And yeah. I had checked that out, and it did redirect to Trump's website. It no longer does that. There's another page up, but it's no longer Jeb Bush's website. I just thought that was funny. We saw where Hillary, doesn't know how to use a fax machine. Jeb can't seem to manage to renew his website. So I think that would point out that Jeb is as equally competent as Hillary to be president.
Okay. Would you like an exclamation point on that? I have one. I really
Sure.
do. I don't know if I ever told you this story. Back in the 80s, the 1980s, I worked for a bank, and I was in charge of data communications. That means that all the computers that were at corporate headquarters for this particular bank, connecting them to other computers and connecting them among, the terminals and so forth, the hundreds and hundreds of terminals to the computers. That was my job. So my department was data communications. And one of the things that we had external links to EDS and the credit bureaus and so forth. Well, we built this new data center with the latest IBM mainframe computer. It was a really neat little computer. Actually, it was a big computer in a small package. So we built this data center, and we had Halon and the fire extinguisher, the automatic equipment, the Liebert power control systems. It was really, really nice looking. It was a glass room. The computers were in a glass room, raised floor, cooling from the floor up through the bottom of the computers and out the top. And the blinking lights with the data communications was my department. Well, of all the equipment to look at, my responsibility was probably the most fun to look at because it had the most blinking lights. Well, one of the members of the board of the bank was past President Gerald Ford, and Gerald Ford was coming to town. So there were about 5 or 6 of us in the in the glass room with President Ford, and we were talking about the millions of transactions in the database and what the computers did and how they worked. And so we were talking for a good 20 minutes with President Ford, and he was leaning on one of these large disk drives. Think of it like the size of a refrigerator cut down to about waist high. So it was a package, the footprint of a refrigerator, a steel box, IBM steel box, and so he was leaning on this thing, and he's going, and we would tell him, more statistics, and and he seemed very, very interested, but he didn't ask any questions, and he didn't interrupt and say, hold it, wait a minute, what'd you just say? None of that happened. He just said, and at the end, we said, Mr. President, do you have any questions? And he said, just one question. What's the difference between hardware and software? That was the question. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that he asked such a simple question after we gave him all kinds of mental charts and graphs and statistics and transactions and throughput, and unbelievable how he asked such a simple question. And the thought that came first to my mind, this guy has the red phone. He can pick him up and say, that's it, I've had it, nuke him. That's the guy. He had that power. How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich, working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare, having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom106.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom, the number 106.com. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom106.com.
Water is the single most important thing your body needs, so you want to be sure it's the best for you and your family. Since 2005, thousands have depended on Berkey purified water. The Berkey Guy provides the lowest priced filtration systems in every size. For incredibly delicious water now and in an emergency, get to goberkey.com or call 877-886-3653. 877-886-3653. goberkey.com.
Are you worried about your mom or dad living alone in their house? Hi, I'm Joan London. Listen, I know how difficult it is to find senior care for someone you love. That's why I recommend a free service called A Place for Mom. They are the nation's largest senior living referral service. Call A Place for Mom today.
To receive free information on senior living communities in your area, call A Place for Mom at 1-800-704-6182.
A Place for Mom offers free one-on-one advice from local advisors and a personalized list of senior living communities you can visit. If you have questions about senior care for your mom or dad, there's a place for answers, A Place for Mom.
Call A Place for Mom in the next 10 minutes to get your free ebook on financing senior care as well as free information on senior living communities in your area. Call 1-800-704-6182. That's 1-800-704-6182.
Serious investors and traders want to make 81% return in 60 seconds? Use the same secret algorithm professional hedge fund managers use to make billions of dollars of profits. Turn $250 into $4,903 in just 7 clicks of a mouse. Our tool is so simple that my 82-year-old grandmother can use it to make insane stock market profits. Go to BigBuckRiches.com. Watch the free video before the hedge funds make us take it down. Go to BigBuckRiches.com. From the Robert Allen System, current returns not indicative of future results.
The financialstateoftheunion.com. John, what do you think of that story? It's absolutely true about the red phone.
Well, actually, there's no such thing as a red phone.
In my mind, that's what we were told. And that's
what we're told. But when I was at the Pentagon, I got a chance to see the Washington-Moscow hotline. And it's not a phone. In fact, at the time, they were getting ready to switch over to the computer-based version, but up to that point, it was teletype.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's not a phone on the president's desk, but he is the one that issues the orders, so it's still just as scary.
Well, that's what the mental image that came to my mind was. You know, here's a man who's in charge, and he didn't know the difference between hardware and software. And it really didn't set well with me for a number of reasons. Number one, he's on the board of directors of the bank, okay? And banks are absolutely unable to conduct business without computers, right? They can't do it. Not in today's world. Same with insurance companies. So here's a guy who's on the board of directors, and he didn't know the difference between hardware and software. I found that unbelievable. And I remember saying to the security guard at the desk in the front of the building, I said, "You guys swept the steps, right? Because President Ford's coming, and you know he falls down a lot because of his bad knees. You made sure no cigarette butts or anything on the sidewalk, right?" I was just kidding, but you know, he did have some football injuries and banged up his knees, and that's probably why I was leaning on that Winchester disk drive, the IBM Model 3030 disk drive. But it's a true story. And there's another true story about when I was in California. I got to tour Ford Aerospace. Got to see a satellite being manufactured. And I met the senior vice president in the parking lot. And he kind of pointed and he said, "You know, over there," I said, "Big antenna?" "Well, we used to have that antenna on the other side of the parking lot. And it took 90 engineers 9 months to move it from that side of the parking lot to the other side of the parking lot." And then he said, and Henry Ford was on the board at the time, one of the grandchildren of Henry Ford. And he got out of his limo and said, Wow, okay, how many of those do we make a day? He had no idea. He had no idea that you don't bang these things out. There's only a few of them in the entire planet, and it took 9 months to move it, from one end of the parking lot to another, and he's thinking that these are coming out of the assembly line. And who was he? He was on the board of directors of Ford Aerospace. He had no clue. So now I know there are two guys at high-level positions on boards that really don't know much about what they do. Just another thought. John, do you have any stories like that? Where you met some people who were in charge who really didn't know that much?
None comes to the top of my head, but I tell you, every so often I apologize to Becky, saying, I'm sorry, I'm not incompetent enough to make money.
John, that's a very valid point. I was in the truck with our son yesterday, and I was telling him about how people make money and how you have to be willing to make a lot of money. You have to be willing to, and a lot of times, cheat people. You have to be willing to take advantage of people. One way I think is to run for office and then get a lot of contributions and then say, you know what, I can't do it. I can't do it. Or start a company with a marginal concept that people might believe and sell stock. And people throw money at you. Then you sell your stock. It's another way of making money. Wow. Okay. So what's next?
Let's get the three branches of government. It's not very often I put a cartoon up, and this is basically in like a high school government class. Billy, can you name the three branches of the U.S. government? Sure. Greed, cronyism, and propaganda. Now, Billy, that's not right. Tell me about it.
That, I don't think that's a cartoon. I think that's a historical fact. Captain John Regan, I'll be right back. This is USAPrepares.com. We got a little sidetracked today, but we're getting right back to class.
So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today.
Removing bad taste and odor from your drinking water is easy. Removing the bad stuff you don't taste is what ProPure does best. Water the way nature meant it to be. Clean, crisp, and refreshing. See the complete line of ProPure countertop, inline, gravity, and household water filtration products. Visit your authorized ProPure dealer or ProPureUSA.com. That's ProPureUSA.com or call 800-544-3533.
Is negative content or comments on the web affecting your personal or professional reputation? Unfavorable comments, embarrassing pictures, videos, legal documents, and negative articles can ruin your personal life, your career, or your business. It happens a lot, and it's just not fair. But what can you do? ReputationDefender.com can help protect your good name. Get a free consultation now. Call 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771. Call right now for a free expert reputation analysis. It's easy to squash the unfair attacks with our patented system, and the analysis is absolutely free. Make the best things about you jump out in searches. Protect your personal and professional reputation, your business, and your income. Get your free reputation analysis from ReputationDefender.com right now. Call 800-831-0771. 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771. Or visit ReputationDefender.com today.
Looking for that edge during those intimate moments? We see many ads for enhancement, but the side effects include death. At GCN Team, we should change the Healthy Body, Brain, and Heart Pack to the Healthy Libido Pack. The brain and heart are not the only organs that require a healthy vascular system. For proper blood flow at the right moment, go to gcnteam.com or call 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203.
Hello, my name is Don Wiskin from HeartDrop.com, the distributors of Extendivite, the #1 heart drop that people have been raving about for years. Every February for the last 16 years, HeartDrop.com has had a Heart Month sale to help you stay heart healthy. For only $115 plus shipping and handling, you can get a 4-month supply of Extendivite in either liquid or capsule form to help you get started on your path to better health. Now is the time to stock up. Order what you need. Stay heart healthy all year with the #1 heart drop, Extendivite. To order your Extendivite, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822. Or visit our website, heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Attention USA Prepares listeners. When you're on the road or have limited data or Wi-Fi, now you can listen to USA Prepares unfiltered and untapped at no extra charge on this non-federal phone number, 1-605-477-3249. Try it now to listen to USA Prepares 24/7 at no extra cost or data charges. These are not on federal lines. These are lines located on Indian reservations off the grid. Call 1-605-477-3249. No smartphones or internet needed. To hear USA Prepares untapped and off the grid, just call 1-605-477-3249.
Are you sneezing, coughing, and aching? Do you have a sore throat, a fever, or the sniffles? There's no reason to be sick this cold and flu season with immune system support from Supernatural Silver. Supernatural Silver can give your body the help it needs to fight off harmful pathogens without hurting beneficial gut flora and without leaving behind resistant bacteria. Antibiotics can damage good microflora and often leave behind bacteria which can cause problems later on. If you're sick of being sick, try Supernatural Silver. Supernatural Silver, the #1 choice of thousands for a safe and effective way to protect against the many diseases and illnesses that we are facing today. Go to supernaturalsilver.com, read our customer reviews, and see the life-changing results that people are having. That's supernaturalsilver.com. Supernaturalsilver.com. Use the promo code PROTECTED for 20% off your entire order. And like us on Facebook. Supernatural Silver.
John Regan's with us, the Financial State of the Union.com. Okay, John.
Well, while we're down at the bottom, let's pick up on SCOTUS replacement theology, Supreme Court of the United States. The one thing that we can agree upon is that we do have an issue with a vacancy on the Supreme Court. There's a lot of unanswered questions that will forever remain surrounding the death of Scalia. There's the second time since 1963 that a high federal person has died in Texas without an autopsy, even though an autopsy is required by state law in a case like Scalia's. And even if there had been an autopsy, I doubt there would have been anything conclusive, because there's been technology out for at least the last 20 or 30 years where they can induce a heart attack, and you can't tell the difference between that and a naturally occurring heart attack. So, we can speculate all day long and get nowhere, but the ramifications, we can at least agree it's not great timing with all the cases that are in front of the Supreme Court right now. There's going to be a lot of things end in 4-4 ties, which means the lower court ruling stands. And we may even see Obama slip in a recession or a recess appointment if the Supreme Court is adjourned, and that would last through the end of his term. So Just to get things straight, first there's the rules. Obama Constitution is pretty clear. Senate must consider my SCOTUS nominees. Well, no, that's the rules when a Democrat president has a Republican Congress, is that the Senate should do their job and, take care of the appointment. However, we see a different set of rules when there's a Republican president and the Democrats are in Congress and the Senate, and we've got some nice choices here. One from 2005. This is when Bush nominated Alito, and Senate Democrats, including Clinton and Obama, attempted to filibuster the nomination. Then later in 2007, Chuck Schumer, Senate should block Supreme Court nominees for 18 months. And this isn't anything new. Back in 1960, Democrats in Senate passed a resolution against election year Supreme Court appointments. So that's the political rules of the game. Democrat in power, you darn well better pass it. Republican in power, hold off until after the election.
You're not waiting for me, are you?
I was wondering if you were still there.
Yeah, I'm still here.
And I think that just sets the stage, and nothing else. Let's go ahead to A Tale of Two Droughts. Canada, again, no big difference from last week. However, Texas, we, until yesterday, hadn't had any rain here in some time. And we jumped from basically 12% of the state being abnormally dry last week to almost 45% being in at least that condition for this reporting period. And about 3.5% of that is actually in drought. So our population-wise, we went from 0 people affected by drought last week to this report of nearly 2 million affected by drought. Now, between the rain yesterday and the rains we'll be getting tonight, we'll probably see those numbers come down next week. But again, it's just to point out how quickly things can change. And unfortunately, once things start going south, we won't have these nice tools we can pull up on the internet to see things like weather and climate. We'll just have to rely on reports from people traveling.
Interesting you say that, John. I was doing some tractor therapy over the weekend, and as I was going around, I was spreading manure with the chain harrow and driving around with this 10-foot by 10-foot mesh of a very heavy chain, half-inch thick chain. And I was thinking about the satellites, and I remember reading and hearing that the United States was not replacing some of its aging satellites. And back in just after 2000, I remember seeing a report by the Weather Channel that they were having difficulty because of the aging satellites. Have you read or heard of anything since then? Have we replaced any of these aging satellites, or do we just engineer the weather and we know what's going to happen because we engineer it? Well, they engineer it, I should say.
I haven't seen anything specific on that.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? No new news, but and we used to hear the reports about that space launch is coming up, and that space launch that we just had, that was a communication satellite. They're always communication satellites. No matter what spy satellite they were putting up, they called it a communication satellite. I guess that was because we'd communicate with it and direct it, and it would report back the information that we wanted it to report back. So they're all the satellites are communication satellites. Even the ones that are designed to take out other satellites, they'd still be probably considered communication satellites. Okay, what's next?
Let's talk about the wonderful state of our finances. because say otherwise, it's peddling fiction.
Sure.
Just to give an update on the Baltic Dry Index, it's up another 1 today to 316. That's still horrifically low. And I really didn't think it would get down much below the upper 400s, but boy, was I surprised on that one. And I actually left out of the report today. I had reports of job cuts in transportation and mining companies, that just 3 of these were about 20,000 people worldwide. So it's continuing to get more and more interesting. And another sign that things are going to get more heated. The first link there in financial, more pension woes. And this originally I saw from the Kansas City Star, and there's also Fox News link there. 250,000 retired truckers, Teamsters, are looking at 50% pension cuts. So whatever they were planning on getting, just cut that in half, in some cases up to 60%, and that's what they get now. And it's not just that, and of course we've talked about other pension plans that have already started cutting. The next one down, state of Illinois, is bankrupt. Illinois has $111 billion unfunded state pension. It has $8 billion in unpaid bills. Revenues are declining. The state is a mess. And then you get down, the next one also talks about Illinois needs $9.4 billion in new taxes by 2019 to survive. And that's assuming, costs don't go up. It's the cities as well. Philadelphia, $5.7 billion in their crisis. And the state and local governments, can't do like the federal government and print money. And I don't think that they're going to be able to do the negative interest rate thing, at least just yet. So if they are able to borrow money, which typically they're more restricted on borrowing, some states even require balanced budgets. It's a large amount of money. It's a structural problem. It's not going away. And unfortunately, we see all these promises made. A lot of this is, from the union side of things, and that they got the loyalty out of those promises, even though they're not able to pay. And it's so frustrating that the people that are now facing the results of those broken promises are still staying loyal. And it's not just Democrat areas. There, even Republican states are having these types of problems, but typically not as bad as the Democrat states are.
Sometimes at night, I think about these things, and my eyes are closed, and it's the quiet of the night. And I was thinking about exactly this. I was talking with one of my friends who owns a small business in our little hamlet. And we were looking at, some of his inventory. And he had a trailer that he bought, an old trailer that he stores his inventory on his farm. And he was telling me the revenue agent came by and said, I got it, I found it, I'm going to tax you for that trailer. He said, no, you're not. No, you're not. It's got tires on it. You're not going to tax me for it. And, the revenue agent in this story was so delighted. She found little tiny amount of revenue in his trailer. We'll be right back. By now you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration system and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $7.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
What would your life be like if you woke up each morning with new vitality, feeling better than you have in years, and you noticed a difference in your sleeping patterns, blood sugar levels, and had a sense of well-being overall? There's something that is changing thousands of people's lives, and you could be one of them. It's called Heart and Body Extract. Sharon Harris, co-creator of Heart and Body Extract, talks about the positive effects of Heart and Body Extract.
What happens with the formula Heart and Body Extract is it's giving the body the necessary vitamins, minerals, amino acids, enzymes, and phytonutrients so the body will heal itself. And yes, the body does have the ability to balance blood pressure, balance cholesterol, clean and unclog the arteries. It can also work on balancing the circulation for diabetics. So the body is an amazing thing. It simply needs some help so it has the tools to heal itself.
Heart and Body Extract gets results. To order your 2-month supply, call now, toll-free at 866-295-5305. Order online at hbextract.com.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
Hi, this is Dr. Joel Wallach, the Mineral Doctor. You've heard me talk about 90 for Life for years. 60 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, 2 fatty acids. You may not know this, that I've actually designed Arthrodex for animals. That's right. Your pets need 90 for Life too. Get this essential pet product by calling 877-279-9422. That's 877-279-9422. Again, 877-279-9422.
Ted Anderson telling you about Jordan Rubin's Beyond Organic Green-Fed Raw Cheddar Artesian Cheese featuring whole milk created through ancient dairy breeding, unpasteurized, untreated whole milk on the same farm the cows graze, containing natural sources of omega-3s, CLA protein, calcium, probiotics, and enzymes. I have never tasted cheese this good, and you need to try it. Contact your Youngevity distributor or call 877-878-4203 or go to gcnteam.com.
Are you looking to sell body armor? Want to make extra money selling body armor at your local gun shows? With low minimum buys and great returns, Katie Armor is the answer. Make money in your spare time. It's American-made body armor with the quickest turnaround in the industry, which means you get your product when you need it at very competitive rates. And they'll ship it to you for free. If you own a business, give them a call today at 855-488-KATIE. That's 855-488-2284. Or go to katiearmor.com. Come and take it.
Captain John Regan's with us, and I was mentioning that the revenue agent came by to a friend of ours, very tiny business, very small business, a necessary business in this farming area where we live. And the revenue agent was so excited because she found a trailer that she thought she could tax. You know, how much can you tax an old trailer? Maybe $20? Maybe $10? Literally, I'm not exaggerating. And so I'm thinking that these revenue agents are going to be coming around more and more looking for that revenue that they think that they need to steal from us at the muzzle of a gun, or the threat of stealing our property by selling it at the courthouse steps for taxes. It's kind of an outrage. No, not kind of. It is an outrage. And it bothers me. It really bothers me. And so as I was thinking while I was partially awake and partially asleep, I was thinking the answer is really simple. Let's fire half of the government people who are bleeding us to death. Okay? They don't have enough money to survive. Let's have them do what's happening to us. We're doing with less. We're cutting every kind of expense we could possibly cut. How about we have them do the same thing? Have them stop feeding at the public trough. John, your thoughts?
Well, that would help a little bit, but unfortunately, a lot of what's gone on now is just like with Social Security and Medicare. It's the unfunded liabilities of these programs that if you cut it, then that's pain for the people that were counting on the programs, and if you keep it, you're bankrupt.
Yeah, I'm talking about local. I'm talking about local revenue. These local guys that come around and bother us. And if you think about it, these local government minions, it seems to be their mission in life, their job description, to go out and find more revenue and enter ways of monitoring us and taxing us by every little thing we do. It seems like that's what they do. And I'm sick of it. I'm absolutely sick of these guys just showing up on my property. Now we keep the gate locked. We keep the gate locked to keep those thugs out. I don't want them on my property. I don't appreciate seeing them just showing up. And why is it that they just show up? Why is it that the cops don't pick up the phone and call? Hey, I just have a question. Can you answer it? No, they bash the door down with no-knock warrants. And it's not a no-knock warrant. It's a bash the door down event. I think it's an outrage. And as I was driving around on the tractor thinking about this, I was thinking that they will bash our doors down. They'll go to one of their buddies who is a guy in a black dress. They'll say, hey, listen, we need to bash this guy's door down. Is that okay? Okay, well, do you have to do it? Yeah, we got to do it. We think there's a reason for it. Okay, go ahead, bash the door down. So they ask their buddies if they can bash the door down. Their buddies say they can bash the door down, then they come and bash the door down. Or they bash the door down anyway, without their buddy's approval, the guy in the black dress. And here's the point. Who pays for the bash down door? I guess the owner of the door. Now, what if we wanted to go see them? What if we said, hey, I want to see the chief of police? The chief of police is almost always behind bulletproof glass. You can't get to the chief of police. He's well protected. So do we go and bash his door down? I don't think so. I think we're a little more polite than that. We try to make an appointment and hopefully we can see him, and that hardly ever happens. The point is, we don't go and bash their doors down. They bash our doors down. There's something wrong with this system. Okay, I'm done venting.
Let me just run through the rest of the financial odds and ends. We've talked about Deere. They're cutting guidance 10%. China's got additional $1 trillion debt first 2 months. Core inflation up. And De Beers is in trouble because Russia's planning to flood diamond market with over 167,000 carats of diamonds.
Yeah, diamonds are a controlled market. They limit the availability of diamonds to purchase to keep the price up. And are diamonds really a girl's best friend? I don't think so. Okay, John Regan, I'll be right back right after these few short commercial announcements and top of the hour news. By the way, Mrs. Finelli didn't get a diamond engagement ring when we first were engaged. Actually, we weren't even engaged. How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
I'm Nick Soboleski, a Select Quote agent with a true story that could save you hundreds of dollars a year. A woman named Linda just called. Her husband, Ray, has a $300,000 group life insurance policy, but is changing jobs and can't take it with him. Well, I impartially shopped the highly rated term life insurance companies we represent and found Ray, who is 41 and takes medication to control his cholesterol, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $26 a month. That's almost twice the coverage for less than half of what he had paid. If SelectQuote hasn't shopped for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote, call 1-800-403-4885. That's 1-800-403-4885. 1-800-403-4885. Or go to SelectQuote.com. We shop, you save. Get full details in the example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials. Your price could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all.
No other network provides the level of customer service we do. When it comes to radio advertising, we are your one-stop shop. And no matter how big or small your business is, we can help. Email us at advertise@gcnlive.com, and an experienced advertising executive will help you take the first step towards driving more customers to your business or website. Advertise@gcnlive.com. Easy, affordable, effective.
Attention USA Prepares listeners. When you're on the road or have limited data or Wi-Fi, now you can listen to USA Prepares unfiltered and untapped at no extra charge on this non-federal phone number, 1-605-477-3249. Try it now to listen to USA Prepares 24/7 at no extra cost or data charges. These are not on federal lines. These are lines located on Indian reservations off the grid. Call 1-605-477-3249. No smartphones or internet needed. To hear USA Prepares untapped and off the grid, just call 1-605-477-3249.
Everyone all set, cocked, locked. Hour number 2 of USAPrepares.com. Meet up tonight. I'll be there at Jimmy's Egg on Battlefield Road in Springfield, Missouri, 4:45 to 8 p.m. And the Beninati family will be with us, and they're going to expose the corruption. They're going to name the names. They're going to expose the corruption. They're being run out of town. Literally run out of town at the muzzle of a gun or guns. Now, the cops were involved, and they're not happy, and they're not taking it. And so they have expanded their reach in letting people know, and they're delighted with the response. And as a result of this effort to help the Beninati family, right here in our little hamlet in Missouri, we're doing another broadcast with Nicole Beninati tomorrow. And I'm delighted to do that. And Mark Watson's going to be phoning in. He's got his story. And then Silent Night is going to be with us for hour number 2 tomorrow. So that's tomorrow. Norm Shealy's back on Wednesday. Gasoline. John, we were talking about the economy. Gasoline prices, $1.31. Springfield, Missouri. I saw a sign yesterday, $1.31.9. And I went to gasbuddy.com. And there are plenty of gas stations selling at $1.31. Well, one at $1.31. A bunch of them at $1.32 and $1.33 right here in Springfield, Missouri. So, John, what's next?
Now, let's go to the bigger picture section. And I want to lead off with Day of Humiliation. And to give you some background on this, Becky and I went to go visit her parents this past weekend. And we don't have anything besides over-the-air TV here, so we're very limited on what we get, and mostly just get it to watch the local news, and we've got 1 or 2 shows we still like to follow. And while we were there visiting, they have satellite, and the channel ended up on the History Channel, and it was the Pawn Stars. And one of the items brought in was from 1861. And in fact, the Pawn Star guy thought that this might be a fake because the year was included. So he called in an expert who looked at it. And this was, keep in mind that at the time, there wasn't any radio or TV. You had newspapers and you had public billboards. And this was something that would be posted on a billboard. They'd basically glue it up there. And so it looked like this one hadn't been posted because it would be pretty much impossible to scrape it off and keep it in one piece. And it's probably like 8 or 9 inches wide, a couple of feet long. And this talked about the National Day of Humiliation. And this was the first of 3 that President Regan did in 1861. The link I've got in bigger picture is from the second one in 1863. And I'm going to attempt to read through this if my voice will cooperate. By the President of the United States of America, a proclamation. Whereas the Senate of the United States, devoutly recognizing the supreme authority and just government of Almighty God in all of the affairs of men and of nations, has, by a resolution, requested the President to designate and set apart a day for national prayer and humiliation. And whereas it is the duty of nations as well as of men to own their dependence upon the overruling power of God, to confess their sins and transgressions in humble sorrow, yet with assured hope that genuine repentance will lead to mercy and pardon, and to recognize the sublime truth announced in the Holy Scriptures and proven by all history, that those nations only are blessed whose God is the Lord. And insomuch as we know that by his divine law, nations like individuals are subjected to punishments and chastisements in this world, may we not justify fear that the awful calamity of civil war, which now desolates the land, may be but a punishment inflicted upon us for our presumptuous sins, to the needful end of our national reformation as a whole people. We have but the recipients of the chosen bounties of heaven. We have been preserved these many years in peace and prosperity. We have grown in numbers, wealth, and power as no other nation has ever grown. But we have forgotten God. We have forgotten the gracious hand which preserved us in peace and multiplied, enriched, and strengthened us, and have vainly imagined in the deceitfulness of our hearts that all these blessings were produced by some superior wisdom and the virtue of our own intoxicated with unbroken success, we have become too self-sufficient to feel the necessity of redeeming and preserving grace, too proud to pray to the God that made us. It behooves us then to humble ourselves before the offended power, to confess our national sins, and pray for clemency and forgiveness. Now, therefore, in compliance with the request, and fully concurring in the views of the Senate, I do by this proclamation designate and set apart Thursday, the 30th day of April, 1863, as a day of national humiliation, fasting, and prayer. I do hereby request that all the people to abstain on that day from their ordinary secular pursuits and to unite at their several places of public worship and their respective homes in keeping that day holy to the Lord and devoted to the humble discharge of the religious duties proper to that solemn occasion. All this being done in sincerity and truth, let us then rest humbly in the hope authorized by the divine teachings that the united cry of the nation will be heard on high and answer with blessings no less than the pardon of our national sins and the restoration of our now divided and suffering country to its former happy condition of unity and peace. And then it goes on to his signature. Can you imagine any politician recommending this type of proclamation today? In fact, I think it'd be hard to find church pastors that would recommend having a day of humiliation and prayer and fasting. Vincent?
No, John, I can't. I can't. I think that our politicians are so filled with greed and self-centeredness that that they wouldn't even consider anything like that. I totally agree with you. And I think that our politicians are a disgrace. I really, John, I was going around the tractor, and I was really thinking, and class, please don't think that there's anything racist in what I'm saying. But if you look at the current occupants of the White House, is that really representative of our best and brightest? Is that really the best we can do? We've got a guy there who can't deliver a message without 2 teleprompters in case one goes down. Seriously. Is that the best we can do? I'm trying to think of a first lady that people liked. Well, Nancy Reagan was one. Jackie Kennedy was one. Have we had many first ladies that we truly would admire? Have we had any presidents that we truly admire lately? I don't think so. We got one guy who can't keep his zipper up. We've got we had a first woman resident of the White House. I can't use the word lady, I don't think. She would throw furnitures and yell and scream and swear and have affairs with other women in the White House. That's what I've been told. She's running for president right now. How do you look at people like that with respect? How do you admire someone like that? I can't. You look at the family. It's the leadership that we don't have. There's no one that I really look up to in government, not a single person. I find them disgraceful. I can't even listen to Barry I can't even listen to his audio. I just can't stand that man. Can't stand his voice. Can't stand his message. Can't stand his dishonesty. Can't stand Hillary's dishonesty, her voice. How did we get to this point? Here, the words that you just read from a statesman, there's nothing like that, John. Nothing like that today. We don't have statesmen today. Got guys like Barney Frank can hardly put a sentence together.
And then how many of the population would dare put their smartphones down for a day and humble themselves?
Now, that's a really good point. I just got off the phone with Nicole Beninati, and I mentioned to her that, tonight I might appear a little agitated. I surely hope no one shows up with a cell phone tonight. I surely hope that doesn't happen. It won't be any fun for anybody if it happens, because we can't seem to do that. And I'll tell you what, John. I'm going to tell you a story when I come back. I'm going to tell you a story, and it bothers me. By now, you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration system and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $7.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
Today, more than ever, it's imperative that you protect your digital privacy. EDEC Digital Forensics, Signal Blocking, Anti-Radiation, Anti-Surveillance Faraday bags shield the contents of your phones, tablets, and key fobs from 4G, Wi-Fi, GPS, Bluetooth, NFC, and more. Find us at edecdf.com/radio or call us now at 805-222-4584. That's 805-222-4584. Radio listeners get 20% off your order.
We all know that Berkey Water Purification Systems are the most trusted name in water filtration. As an authorized Berkey dealer for over 6 years and serving thousands of satisfied customers, the Berkey Guy offers amazing specials for Berkey Water Filtration Systems. The Berkey Light Systems include a set of self-sterilizing and recleanable black purification elements that purify water by removing chlorine, pathogenic bacteria, cysts, and parasites to non-detectable levels and remove harmful chemicals such as herbicides and pesticides. Order the Berkey Light System today, complete with 2 black Berkey elements for only $231, and the Berkey Guy will ship your order free of charge. With the purchase of a Berkey Light, the Berkey Guy is also offering a set of fluoride and arsenic filters for only $39.99. That's over 30% off the retail price. Call the Berkey Guy at 1-877-886-3653. That's 1-877-886-3653. Or order online at goberkey.com. That's goberkey.com today.
Nowadays, there are millions of people with old smartphones, iPads, tablets, you name it, just sitting around collecting dust. And if those are improperly disposed of, well, they contain unsafe toxic materials harmful to you and the environment. But now, these devices can be used as a painless way to help support your favorite GCN shows. Visit donatemycell.com. Donations are tax deductible, and if you donate 10 or more devices, you'll receive a special free gift offer. That's donatemycell.com. Donatemycell.com.
Captain John Regan's with us. And John, here's a short story. I wasn't planning on telling it, but so the phone rang, and this was within the last month. The phone rang here at the farmhouse, and I said, hello. And I hear this noise in the background. I said, hello. And the noise is getting louder. Hello. And then I hear what appears to be an argument in the background. And at that point, I'm thinking, I don't know if this call is for me, for us here at the farm. I don't normally get calls like this. Maybe something is really wrong. Voices are elevated. Sounds like there's an argument going on. And I recognize the voice. And then I realized that, you know what, this really was not a phone call that was meant to be made at that time. It just happened. So someone called us. I recognized the voice, and I realized that this phone dialed our number, and that the person who had the phone didn't know that it dialed our number. So all the hellos that I had spoken were unanswered. But I could hear clearly this, we'll call it an argument going on in the background. This person had no idea, nor did anyone in the room have any idea that that phone call had been made to me or to our phone, our house phone. So I hung up. That's just one instance of phone calls being made without us knowing about them. So I mentioned to our son, the term is butt dialing. The phone's in the back pocket, and I guess maybe somebody bends over or leans against something or taps the screen, and all of a sudden it makes a call. I said, do you get those calls? And he said, yeah. And it's really, he gets those more often than he would like. He doesn't like getting them. And he hears things that he doesn't want to hear. Things that people think are in the privacy of wherever they are, maybe at their own home or in their car. How many of you have gotten these phone calls? Well, that's just one kind of phone call. How about the phone calls that you don't know about, that people are placing to your phone and listening to what you're saying? How about those kinds of calls? Your phone doesn't light up? And that's just one small reason why I don't have a cell phone. Another one is, I'm going to post this, and there's a mobile, here's the title. Mobile phones are cooking men's sperm. Study finds that sperm levels of men who kept phones in their pocket during the day were quite seriously affected in 47% of the cases. Sperm count's down, way down. It says if you wear a suit to work, put the mobile phone in your chest pocket instead of close to your testicles. It will reduce the risk of your sperm count dropping. Really? Put it next to your heart? Does that make sense? Wow. So now it's mainstream. Where'd this come from? thetelegraph.co.uk. So now it's mainstream. What we've been saying for years is now mainstream. Breast cancer, women put the phones in their bras. Guys put it in the front pockets. Women put them in their back pockets. When they use the toilet, the phones go for a dive into the toilet bowl. Roy Birdsong can tell you all about the phones that he's repaired that have gone swimming in restrooms. Just stop with the phones. Do we really need them? Do we really need these phones everywhere we go? Back to you, John Regan.
I've got an article that talks about the 1924 Illuminati goals, and I would think that in the archives at the Springfield Library, they might have the Joplin Globe from June 21st, 1924, where you can verify this. I thought it interesting, and these goals pretty much align with the Communist Manifesto, and some of them you'll recognize out of the 10 planks, and that was published back in 1848. So that's the abolition of government, abolition of patriotism, abolition of private property rights, abolition of all rights of inheritance, abolition of religion, and abolition of the family relations.
Wow. We'll be right back.
So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective, multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today. Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Sling bow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of sling bow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $7.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
Are you looking to sell body armor? Want to make extra money selling body armor at your local gun shows? With low minimum buys and great returns, Katie Armor is the answer. Make money in your spare time. It's American-made body armor with the quickest turnaround in the industry, which means you get your product when you need it at very competitive rates. And they'll ship it to you for free. If you own a business, give them a call today at 855-488-KATIE. That's 855-488-2284. Or go to katiearmor.com. Come and take it.
Did you know that you can bring Berkey purification power anywhere with the Sport Berkey filtration bottle? It's ideal for outdoor activities like sports, camping, and boating. The Sport Berkey bottle is small enough to store in a glove box, so it's the ideal backup for unexpected emergencies like blackouts, floods, or earthquakes. It is simply the best personal water filtration system available. So effective, it can filter raw, untreated water from lakes, rivers, and streams. Unlike other sport bottles, the Sport Berkey's proprietary filter removes cysts, parasites, harmful bacteria, and chemicals. It even reduces pharmaceuticals and heavy metals. This rugged, lightweight 22-ounce filter is small enough that you can take one with you wherever you go and store another in your car for emergencies. Get 2 Sport Berkey water filtration bottles for only $37 by calling New Millennium at 888-803-4438. Or today and get half off. Toll free 888-803-4438 and ask about this special offer.
Cancer categorizes over 100 diseases. Though we do not diagnose, treat, or cure cancer, GCN team is offering the Clemson University study where there was up to a 95% reduction in cancerous cells when exposed to a plant-derived mineral supplement. If you or a loved one are searching for answers to this horrifying disease, come to gcnteam.com or call 877-878-4203. We'll email you a copy for free. That's 877-878-4203.
Sciatica, lower back pain, hip pain, poor posture. If you suffer from any of these problems, get ready to relax. Introducing an amazing product that's been in the market for over 25 years, the Sacro Wedgie. It was invented by a football coach using a common sense osteopath technique. He created this device to help his athletes by isolating and supporting the sacrum, which is the keystone of our anatomy. This wedge-shaped bone is in the center of our hips, where a lot of pain starts. Simply relax 20 minutes daily on the amazingly simple Sacro Wedgie and let gravity do the work, helping muscles rebalance and start releasing nerves. Sit in the Sacro Wedgie at the computer or while traveling to help correct posture to finally help relieve those stubborn aches and pains for only $33.95. It's made in the USA, so click the family-owned website at sacrowedgie.com, spelled SACROWEDGY.com, or call 1-800-737-9295. That's 1-800-737-9295. Relax your back pain away with the Sacro Wedgie.
Captain John Regan's with us, and John, just as a side note, there's a post on the internet: digitally wary users switch to dumb phones. It looks like there's some individuals who don't want the smartphones that can do all of the things a small handheld computer can do, and all they want to do is just take and make phone calls. So that's going the opposite direction. What's next?
Well, it looks like we're going to run out of time, so let's make your day with spy tech.
Okay. I'm ready.
I've got a couple of articles on Watson, which I found a bit disturbing. IBM snags new European clients for Watson, 2 new projects. The first client is a developer of elevator and escalator technology. And the second is Finland's main electricity transmission grid operator. So Watson will be keeping a close eye on that. And then Watson to buy Truven Health for $2.6 billion, which means they get the information on health data from thousands of hospitals, employers, and state governments. So Watson will analyze all of that and know more about your health than you do.
John, I was reading about how companies, including the Chinese factory outlet, employ third parties to check search habits of their employees so that they can monitor them, maybe suggest that if they're going to have back surgery that for something that's happened while working for the company, maybe they got hurt, maybe you don't need that back surgery. Maybe what you should do is consider something else. Now, of course, I agree. Surgery is probably the last resort. But what I'm saying is the companies are using third parties to spy on employees and then suggest to them what the company wants them to do. So they're spying at levels that we haven't even thought about. So you're sitting at your computer, and you do a search on silver. Next thing you know, there are all kinds of advertisements for silver. Or if you're searching for tires, all of a sudden the tire rack appears almost everywhere you go, looking at, page after page, advertisements for the tire rack, to sell you tires. And no matter what it is you do a search for, your browser seems to keep that and then report that and then send advertisements based on what your interests are. Now, that's just what we think about happening today, and we might get 2 days worth of tire rack advertisements. But what if all that information were being stored, and we did a search on a kidney disease or a liver disease or a brain disease, and all that gets stored. Now profiles are being built on our searches, and that's one reason why you don't want someone else to use your computer. Let's say they go someplace where a government employee would probably frequent, some porn site or something. Now in your profile, you've got that activity on your file in a database, or your record in a database, that your computer has gone to these places where you haven't gone because someone borrowed your computer. Think about that, or your phone. What do you think, John?
Well, let's add in social media. You have posts about the health of your family members, and that gets rolled into this. And when you go and apply for a job, Watson comes up and says, "No, you don't want to hire this person because there'd be too many health insurance costs."
Right, and that's what you're talking about. That's where this is going. And then you talked about the Internet of Things and all of these appliances which are beginning to spy on us, including the music we listen to, right?
And in fact, I didn't put it up here, but there was an article in the past week that the TV manufacturer is saying that you don't want to say anything sensitive in front of their TV because it'll be captured.
And it's just like that little story that we've talked about over the years that, the little girl has a fight with her boyfriend. She's in elementary school, and she says, I wish he would die. I hate him. I'd like to kill him, right? And then that audio is recorded, or those texts are recorded. And then she's in front of the judge, when she's operating her vehicle. She made a left turn, and there's a no left turn allowed. And, she's in front of the judge, and the prosecutor asks if she has an anger management problem. She says no. And then they play the audio, or they show the text. I want to kill him. And then the judge says, I'd like to be lenient, but boy, oh boy, you want to kill people. You have to be careful what you say. My mom used to say, they can't hang you for something you didn't say. They can't hang you for something you didn't say. Well, that's probably true in a lot of cases, but not all cases. So really, be careful what you say. And one of the reasons why I don't have a cell phone is because I don't want text, tweets, messages, calls from people saying things that I don't want them to say to me. I don't want a text saying, "Oh, I hate that person," or "So-and-so's a bozo and I wish he would die." I don't want that coming inbound. And one of the ways of preventing it is not having that inbound channel on a cell phone. I don't want text. Believe me, I don't want texts. John, have you ever heard of someone receiving a text that they really wish they didn't get? From somebody who was angry? About some unrelated thing? Someone has a bad day at work, and then another person, totally not related to that work incident, gets a text, and they're lashing out, and now that's a permanent record associated with you, and you had nothing to do with any of it. I don't want that to happen. So the way I help prevent that is by not having a cell phone. Plus, you get all the benefits of not having those electromagnetic waves against your body. I wonder how much of our birth defects is related to cell phones in the pockets of men just cooking their sperm. What are they thinking? What's next, John?
I call the link permamemory. This is what they call a quartz coin. It's very small, that, it looks like a coin and you hold it between your fingers there. It can store 360 terabytes of data for 14 billion years. Now, 360 terabytes, on a personal level is, probably way more than you could even put together, even if you tried to put your whole video collection on there. As far as storing everything that humans do, it goes a long way, especially for text and audio. The time frame is amazing. Based on science, they say that the universe is about 14 billion years old. So essentially, they're saying that this data would be able to be retrieved for the same amount of time that the universe has been in existence. I doubt we'd see this on home-based computers simply because of the lasers that would have to write into this. And I would imagine this being more for archival for all the big data that we see. Of course, the bad news on that is that this data is going to be around for a long time.
John, as you say that, I was thinking about a technology that I heard about, but I don't know if this is true. I heard this many years ago, that let's say, like right now I'm in a studio, and there are several windows in the studio. The glass in those windows stores the sounds, the vibrations that it experiences. And those windows can be used with a technology to, the sounds can be retrieved from those pieces of glass. I also have in the studio some French doors, which have panes of glass in them. It's about 5 feet or 6 feet wide. And so there are a lot of panes of glass in the French doors in the studio. And maybe those could store sounds as well. Isn't that an awful, awful thought? That let's say mom and dad are having an argument, and the cops bash down the front door, and they take their machine and they aim it at, let's say, French doors in their house, or a mirror in the house, or a picture in a picture frame, aim it at the glass, and they extract all the sounds from years ago to present. Imagine that. I'm not saying we have that technology. I'm saying I heard of that technology.
Well, we at least have the technology where they can aim a laser at the glass and listen to what's going on in the room. When I was at the Pentagon, which was from late 85 to early 88, I missed the opportunity to tour the CIA building. The first time my upgraded clearance hadn't come through yet. The second time, I just had a conflict that I couldn't get out of, but I was able to talk to people that went there, and they talked about how they had the pains with the inert gas and the vibration, so that couldn't be done to the CIA building.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I remember reading stories about aiming those technologies at the White House windows and listening to the president. How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
Sciatica, lower back pain, hip pain, poor posture. If you suffer from any of these problems, get ready to relax. Introducing an amazing product that's been in the market for over 25 years, the Sacro Wedgie. It was invented by a football coach using a common sense osteopath technique. He created this device to help his athletes by isolating and supporting the sacrum, which is the keystone of our anatomy. This wedge-shaped bone is in the center of our hips, where a lot of pain starts. Simply relax 20 minutes daily on the amazingly simple Sacro Wedgie and let gravity do the work, helping muscles rebalance and start releasing nerves. Sit in the sacro wedgie at the computer or while traveling to help correct posture to finally help relieve those stubborn aches and pains for only $33.95. It's made in the USA, so click the family-owned website at sacrowedgie.com, spelled SACROWEDGY.com, or call 1-800-737-9295. That's 1-800-737-9295. Relax your back pain away with the Sacro Wedgie.
If you want fresh, healthy drinking water anytime, anywhere, when traveling, during outdoor activities, or in emergencies, you need the revolutionary Berkey Light System. It removes organic chemicals, pharmaceuticals, viruses, bacteria, cysts and parasites, chemicals, unhealthy minerals such as lead and mercury, while leaving in the healthful and nutritional minerals your body needs. The Berkey Light System processes up to 96 gallons of clean, fresh water per day and can be upgraded to 192 gallons per day. And get the Berkey PF2 fluoride reduction filters. They last for up to 1,000 gallons and extract fluoride, arsenic, and heavy metal ions from your water. Get the Berkey Light System along with the PF2 fluoride reduction filters, a $297 value for only $262 by calling New Millennium at 888-803-4438. Save $35 now by asking for this special offer. That's toll free 888-803-4438. Not yet available in Iowa.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states. Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937.
This is a healthcare alert from the Pain Relief Hotline. If you, a family member, or a loved one suffers from knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain and have Medicare as your primary insurance, we've got great news. You don't have to suffer any longer. You can immediately qualify for a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you by calling our 24/7 Pain Relief Hotline at 866-389-0620. Delivery is free and all paperwork is handled for you. If you are on Medicare and have knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain, don't wait. You can qualify to immediately receive a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost by calling our 24/7 Pain Hotline now at 866-389-0620. Our representatives are standing by 24/7 to take your call and rush you your pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you. Shipping is free and all paperwork is handled for you. Just call 866-389-0620. That's 866-389-0620. Again, 866-389-0620.
Owe $10,000 or more to the IRS?
Get on board with the Tax Admiral. Don't take on the IRS alone. I'll cut penalties and reduce your overall tax bill. Sometimes I can even get it zeroed out completely.
We're an A-rated company helping people clean up their mess with the IRS.
If you owe $10,000 or more, then call the Tax Admiral.
Call 800-287-7180. Again, that's 800-287-7180. 800-287-7180.
Captain John Regan's with us. Class tonight. I'll be at the meetup at Jimmy's Egg, 4:45 to 8 p.m. And the Beninati family is going to be there telling their story about what happened when the cops showed up because a neighbor called 911 on them. And the cops ended up pointing AR-15s at Jeremy Beninati. And how they're trying to run him out of town. And the Beninatis are not going to take it standing down. Jeremy was arrested, put in jail for 14 days, lost his job. And he's not backing down. He's going to name the names. He has been naming the names. And Nicole Beninati will be on the air with us tomorrow. And if you have a story about abuses like this, what happens when 911 is called, give us a call tomorrow and weigh in. 866-582-9933. 866-582-9933. We'll be live from 9 to 11 Central Time in the morning tomorrow. John Regan, what's next?
Well, let's slip down to the control section. And I'm going to hold over the road to cashless for next week. This is a discussion on how they want to take the $100 bill out of circulation and I've run some other numbers, and there's just not enough time to discuss that one properly. The student loan serfdom, I didn't know whether to include that here or in the button pusher section. And this is something that actually happened here in Texas. We had a Texas man who had a $1,500 student loan, $1,500. You know, people owe a whole lot more than that for student loans. And he was arrested at gunpoint for not paying his student loan. Now, the flip side of this, the federal marshals spent $1,200 arresting a guy for $1,500 in debt. It's
Arlo Guthrie talked about that. The federal government will even go after the last guy who has less than anybody else. They will still go after him.
It's this isn't the last time we're going to see this. There's a reason that they made student loans not includable in bankruptcy, and that's to keep you as a slave for the rest of your life, unless you're fortunate enough to have actually gotten a job that pays enough where you can pay off your student loans.
Yeah. Interesting that that you can declare bankruptcy and not pay others, but not the government, right? Very interesting.
And it used to be that you could include student loans in bankruptcy, but again, it's all about control. Mm-hmm. And this is almost as good. We didn't get into the government smarts last week. I had an article there dealing with FATCA, and this has cost the government $1 trillion, and they've managed to get $13.5 billion revenue on that. So, yeah, you keep that up, and we'll be bankrupt even faster.
Well, we might have a guy who's got experience with bankruptcy presiding over the bankruptcy of the United States, right? Donald. He knows about bankruptcy. He's probably the best candidate to preside over the bankruptcy of the United States. I mean, from an experience perspective. Yeah. John, it's so frustrating. The calls that I get here at the farmhouse from instructors, I don't get a single call, not one call saying, hey, Vinny, it's unbelievable how good things are. It's exactly the opposite. Exactly the opposite. All the instructors who call the house, whom I talk with, are very, very concerned. Very concerned. And their concern is increasing, just as mine is. And I have not changed my perspective on my concern. Hey, John. Hey, happy anniversary. 4th anniversary.
Hopefully we'll still be on the air for 5.
Yeah, isn't that something? Class, above all, honesty and integrity. What happens next is up to you. John Regan, thank you so much for being with us. By now you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
Sciatica, lower back pain, hip pain, poor posture. If you suffer from any of these problems, get ready to relax. Introducing an amazing product that's been in the market for over 25 years, the Sacro Wedgie. It was invented by a football coach using a common sense osteopath technique. He created this device to help his athletes by isolating and supporting the sacrum, which is the keystone of our anatomy. This wedge-shaped bone is in the center of our hips, where a lot of pain starts. Simply relax 20 minutes daily on the amazingly simple Sacro Wedgie and let gravity do the work, helping muscles rebalance and start releasing nerves. Sit in the Sacro Wedgie at the computer or while traveling to help correct posture to finally help relieve those stubborn aches and pains for only $33.95. It's made in the USA, so click the family-owned website at sacrowedgie.com, spelled SACROWEDGY.com, or call 1-800-737-9295. That's 1-800-737-9295. Relax your back pain away with the Sacro Wedgie.